All right, now let's look at East Africa and a new thing happening right there in East Africa. And we'll see how they're looking to increase trade. So it's more of the ship at this point in time. We have joining us for this conversation now. Rodney Sima is a regional asset management lead in Infraco. So thank you so much, Rodney, for joining us, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
So we hear that East Africa is trying to improve or increase regional trade. What's the strategy at this time?
Certainly. We are catalyzing trade in East Africa by adding a vessel that can move goods, across the lake instead of what are congested roads. Sometimes that take a long time to move cargo. So East Africa Marine Transport has basically just inaugurated a vessel called Envy Mpungu that will move goods in a very short time. 18 hours is the journey that's envisaged, instead of 3 or 4 days to move around Lake Victoria. So we believe, between Tanzania and Uganda and the region at whole, it will benefit from just having cargo moving a lot faster, a lot safer, and also with less carbon emissions by moving trucks off the road and putting them on the water.
So what are your major target countries for this new routes going around Lake Victoria?
Yeah, sure. Because the Lake Victoria borders is on 3 countries, right? Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. So any cargo moving between the three that can be moved onto the vessel will be moved onto the vessel. I mean, for now, we are looking at just moving between Mwanza and Port Bell, Mwanza in Tanzania, Port Bell in Uganda. So we're targeting that route. But looking forward, of course, we're looking at Kisumu in Kenya, which is another port we can call and make it a sort of a triangular type of operation.
And what are the commodities in target? We know Kenya is really good with tea, and they do have their targets for the year. What are the commodities in focus?
Yeah, it's quite varied. I mean, when we did our research some 7, 8 years ago, we had steel that was going between the 2 countries. We see now there's a lot of sugar that's coming up. I was there last week again, and there was a vessel offloading some sugar. Timber is also good that moves across, palm oil. So they varied. It depends on the seasonality of it as well, and in terms of what sort of is happening between the 2 countries. But there's a significant amount of cargo that we saw moving on the road by just standing at the border for a few days and just ticking the boxes in terms of what moves. And we feel that that's the cargo that'll basically be moving onto our vessel.
So tell us how you would calm the nerve of your would-be clients when you talk about issue of security, maritime security, insurance, the risks, and the costs, the premium on insurance. Those are factors.
Yeah, so remember, this is purely a commercial solution we're providing, right? So we cover the insurance of your cargo coming onto the vessel, which is basically, in this case, it's a full laden truck that you are driving onto the vessel on one end of the lake and then driving off of the other. The cargo owners will obviously have their own insurance that they cover for their goods as they transport them up and down between the different regions. What we're basically securing for you as a cargo owner is that instead of the 4 days, which is increased risk on the road, we're going to put this on our vessel. We've got insurance that covers that should sort of anything go wrong. But that risk is 100% transformed into us, into East Africa Marine Transport, and away from the customer and the transporter. So that's a very good deal, a solution for you as a cargo owner or the transporter who's looking to move goods across the region.
And a World Bank report brings up the issue of inclusive sanitation. What are you doing in that regard?
So as the private infrastructure development group, we're the biggest shareholder into this project, and we put in $25 million to develop up to this point. But sanitation, health and safety, environmental, social, that is one of our biggest drivers and one of our biggest value adds in terms of what we've brought to East Africa Marine Transport. You ask what would that mean? I mean, we've brought world-class standards when we're doing the construction. But to answer your question more specifically, in terms of sanitation at this point, while we're transporting the goods, it's a very interesting concept where the truck driver will basically drive the truck onto the vessel, leave the vessel, they leave the truck, and then go up to a cabin where they can sit and relax for 18 hours, less fatigue for the driver. You know, there's toilet facilities, shower facilities in our vessel, and in future we'll also be providing food. You know, where you can purchase some food as we transport. And when you get to the other side, nicely refreshed, nicely fed, you can carry on your journey, which I think is just a benefit all around to all road users, that the drivers are now rested and are ready to take on the next leg of their journeys.
Any future plan connecting the Eastern Africa to other parts of the continent?
Well, yes. So this is a catalyst for us. This is one vessel of what we're hoping will be two or three Victoria. We also have had inquiries from Lake Albert. I was having a chat this morning actually on that. Tanganyika is also, there's a project we're looking there as well. And Malawi, we've had some inquiries. So it's water transportation. You know, it's very much underutilized in Africa. Very efficient. There's no roadblocks. You know, there's no potholes. So it's an area that we feel with this vessel, prove the concept, and then we can attract other investors to do the same, or ourselves. As you said, we are looking at other lakes in other regions where we can develop such a project as this one we've done in Uganda.
Forgive me for being selfish. Any connection to Nigeria anytime soon? I'm in Nigeria.
Maybe we'll come there in the future. For now, I think East Africa, Southern Africa is our focus, but definitely Pidge's very much represented in Nigeria. So it's a region that we also hold very close to our hearts.
All right, thank you so much, and wish you the best in connecting the eastern coast of the continent in trade. Rodney Sima, Regional Asset Management Lead at Infraco.